dear friend, and welcome back to the quiet of the valley. I am so very glad you are here. Tonight, we find our little friends deep in the heart of winter. The world outside is cold and still, covered in a thick, soundless blanket of snow, and inside the tall blue house, the little troll and his family are in the middle of their deepest, most peaceful sleep of the year, their long winter's hibernation. But on the longest night of the year, something unexpected happens. A tiny noise, a gentle visitor, and a mysterious invitation out into the cold to witness a secret that hibernating trolls never get to see. This is a story about the quiet magic that waits in the darkest moments, about the warmth of community, and the beautiful promise of returning light. So find your coziest position now. Let my voice be a comforting weight, like a thick, downy quilt, helping you to settle and to sink into a state of perfect, sleepy rest. There is nothing for you to do but breathe and listen and let go. Before our story truly begins, let's take this moment to fully prepare for sleep. Find that perfect spot where every muscle in your body can feel supported and at ease. Allow your eyes to gently close. Pull your blankets up, feeling their comforting weight settle over you. Let's take a slow, gentle breath in together, filling your belly with air. And now, breathe out with a soft sigh, letting go of any tension from your day. Another deep, easy breath in, breathing in peace, and a long, slow breath out, releasing all worries. Feel a wonderful, warm sense of release beginning in your feet, letting them grow heavy and relaxed. This feeling of softness travels up into your legs, up into your hips, allowing your lower body to sink completely into the mattress. Your stomach softens, your chest relaxes, and your shoulders drop away from your ears. Your arms feel heavy and still. Your hands are soft and open. Relax your jaw, soften your face. You are in a safe, warm, and comfortable space. Your mind is becoming quiet, like a still, frozen lake under a starry sky, ready for our story to unfold. You are ready for the secret of the Solstice Light. The world inside the tall blue house was unmoving. It was a world of deep, velvety stillness. Dust motes, visible only as tiny golden specks in the single shaft of low winter sun that managed to find a window, drifted through the air with an infinite slowness. On the ground floor, all the furniture was draped in soft, white cloths, sleeping under gentle shrouds. In the kitchen, the pots and pans were clean and silent on their hooks. The pantry was full and quiet, its jars of summer preserves waiting patiently. Upstairs, in the master bedroom, a great mound of colorful quilts rose and fell in a slow, barely perceptible rhythm. Underneath, the mother troll and father troll were deep in their long winter sleep, a peaceful, dreamless rest that healed the body and soothed the soul for months on end. And in the very top of the house, in the attic room with the round window, the little troll was curled in a tight, cozy ball under his own thick quilt. His breath was a soft, steady whisper in the cold, still air. His hibernation was a vast, timeless ocean of quiet. There were no thoughts, no dreams, just a deep, unbroken peace. This is how it always was. The valley slept, and the trolls slept with it. But this year, on the day of the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, the deep, unmoving silence was disturbed. Tap, 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 tap. It was a very small sound, a sharp but tiny noise against the glass of the round attic window. Tap, tap, tappity-tap. In the deep ocean of his sleep, the little troll felt a faint ripple. He shifted, burrowing his nose deeper into the warmth of his bedding, trying to sink back into the perfect stillness. Bang, tap, bang, bang. This time, the sound was louder, a determined, insistent knocking, slowly, so very slowly, like a creature waking at the bottom of the sea. The little troll began to stir. His eyelids felt impossibly heavy. His thoughts were thick and slow, like cold honey. A thought formed, the first one in weeks. Noise. He made a small, sleepy groan. The face that appeared at his window was tiny, framed by the frost that had formed on the glass. It was their smallest, most independent friend, the fierce little girl with her hair tied in a tight knot atop her head. She never hibernated. She found winter far too interesting to sleep through. She pressed her little nose to the glass, her expression one of extreme urgency. With a monumental effort, the little troll untangled a paw from his warm cocoon of blankets. The air in the room was shockingly cold against his fur. He padded across the floor, his legs feeling wobbly and unused. He fumbled with the latch on the round window, his paws clumsy with sleep, and pushed it open. A rush of cold, clean, pine-scented air filled the room, making him shiver. "What?" was all he could manage, his voice thick and sleepy. "There you are," his little friend said, her own voice a fast, energetic whisper. "You have to wake up. You'll miss it. Everyone is getting ready." "Miss what?" the little troll asked, his mind struggling to catch up. He felt foggy and confused. "Ready for what?" "The light," she said, as if it were the most obvious thing in the world. "The secret of the light. You can't sleep through it. It's the most important night of the whole year." The little troll just blinked at her. He knew nothing of this. He only knew the warmth of his bed, the deep call of hibernation, and that his parents were sleeping soundly downstairs. It felt very wrong to be awake, but his friend was already scrambling through the open window, her tiny boots making soft thuds on the wooden floor. She was vibrating with excitement and impatience. "Come on, come on, come on," she urged, tugging at his paw. "We have to hurry." A flicker of curiosity, a feeling he hadn't felt in a very long time, ignited within him. The light? A secret? Part of him just wanted to climb back into his warm, safe bed, but a bigger, more adventurous part of him was intrigued. He padded over to his little wooden chair and found his winter cloak, wrapping it around his sleepy shoulders. It felt strange to be putting on clothes in the middle of the deep sleep. "We have to be very quiet," he mumbled, thinking of his parents. "Of course," she said, though her version of quiet was more of a tiptoe run. They crept down the silent, spiraling staircase of the blue house. They passed the doorway to his parents' room, where the slow, deep breathing was the only sound, down past the shrouded living room furniture, and to the heavy front door. Lifting the great iron latch felt like a momentous effort. The click of it opening seemed to echo through the sleeping house like a gunshot. They both froze, listening, but the steady, deep breathing from upstairs continued, unbroken. Then they slipped outside. The cold was breathtaking. It was a dry, pure, absolute cold that stole the breath and made the fur on his snout prickle. The world was cast in a deep pre-dawn blue. The moon had set, but the sun had not yet considered rising. It was the darkest hour of the night. The snow was deep and crisp, sparkling under the light of a million distant stars, as if it were scattered with diamond dust. "This way," his friend hissed, already moving with purpose towards the dark line of trees at the edge of the forest. The little troll followed, his body still heavy with the urge to sleep. The feeling of the cold, powdery snow under his bare paws was a strange and powerful sensation. As his eyes adjusted, he started to see things he'd never noticed before. The world was not asleep, not entirely. He saw a tiny movement by the riverbank. Two small, shy shrews, wearing tiny mossy scarves, were carefully placing single, bright red rowan berries at the base of a large stone. They saw him looking, squeaked softly, and scurried away into a hole in the snow. A little further on, a red squirrel, its tail twice as fluffy as it was in the summer, dashed down a pine tree. It wasn't carrying a nut. It was carrying a small bundle of bright green pine needles, tied together with a single blade of long, dried grass. It gave them a quick, nervous nod, and disappeared up another tree. "Where are they going?" the little troll asked in a hushed voice. "To the clearing, of course," his friend replied. "Everyone who is awake goes to the clearing." And then he saw them. Lanterns. In the distance, through the dark trunks of the pines, he could see tiny, bobbing lights. Faint, warm glows moving purposefully through the forest. He could just make out small, furry shapes, all heading in the same direction. The world he thought he knew, his quiet summer valley, had a whole other secret life that it lived while he was sleeping. It was a world of winter creatures, of strange and silent rituals, and of a mysterious gathering he had never known about. They walked deeper into the forest. The only sounds were the soft crunch, crunch, crunch of their own footsteps and the whisper of the cold wind in the highest branches of the pine trees. The air smelled of cold stone, snow, and the sharp, clean scent of pine. Finally, they saw a warm, gentle glow ahead. It was brighter than the other lanterns. They were arriving. His friend pulled him behind a large, snow-covered fir tree at the edge of a wide, natural clearing. She put a finger to her lips. The sight before them made the little troll's sleepy eyes go wide. The clearing was a perfect circle, like a natural amphitheater formed by a gentle dip in the land. And in it were dozens of the valley's creatures, all the ones who stayed awake for winter. The squirrels, the shrews, the hares, the little wood mice, even a very old and wise-looking owl perched on a high branch. They weren't talking or celebrating. They were standing in a silent, respectful circle. In the very center of the clearing stood the oldest, most gnarled pine tree in the entire valley, and from its lowest, strongest branch hung a single, beautiful, unlit lantern made of frosted glass and thin brass. Everyone was watching it, waiting. The stillness was absolute. The cold, starry sky stretched overhead. Every creature held its own little offering, the berries, the pine bundles, a perfect icicle. "What are we waiting for?" the little troll whispered, the words barely forming. The turn, his friend whispered back. We are waiting for the exact moment of the deepest dark, before the light promises to come back. Just as she said it, the wise old owl on the branch let out a single, soft, low hoot. Hoo. A tiny field mouse with a piece of glowing flint scurried up the ancient pine tree. With a delicate movement, it struck the flint inside the lantern. A tiny spark flew, and a soft, warm, golden flame came to life. The single point of light pushed back the deep, pre-dawn darkness. It cast a warm, gentle glow on the faces of all the gathered creatures. Their expressions were full of a quiet, hopeful joy. The secret of the solstice light was simply this: to be together, to light a single candle in the deepest darkness, and to trust, together, that the sun would return. It was the most beautiful, simple, and moving thing the little troll had ever seen. And then he felt a warm, familiar presence behind him. He turned, and there stood his mother troll and father troll, wrapped in their heavy winter robes. They were not angry. Their faces were soft and filled with a sleepy, gentle understanding. We heard the latch, the father troll said, his voice a low, warm rumble in the cold air. We thought we might find you here. Oh, said the mother troll, her voice full of warmth as she looked at the scene. So you've finally seen it, the little promise. She knelt and handed the little troll a small wooden cup from a flask she carried. It was warm. He sipped it. A hot, sweet, spicy berry juice flowed through him, chasing away the last of the deep, hibernating cold. It tasted of summer and love. We hibernate to store up our strength, the father troll explained quietly, watching the lantern burn. But the valley always remembers to keep a little light burning, just to remind the sun how to find its way back. The little troll understood. It wasn't about a party. It was about hope. They stood there for a long time, the four of them, watching the single flame flicker bravely in the heart of the winter darkness. Slowly, as the first faintest hint of gray began to touch the eastern horizon, the little creatures began to disperse, leaving their small offerings at the base of the great pine tree before melting back into the woods. The wise old owl gave them a slow, solemn wink, and then a tiny shrew offered the beautiful brass lantern to the mother troll. For your window, it squeaked, until the sun is strong again. With a grateful smile, she accepted it. The walk home was different. The forest was no longer mysterious and strange, but beautiful and alive with secrets. The little lantern, carried by the father troll, swung gently, casting a warm, moving circle of light around them on the crisp, blue snow. Back in the tall blue house, a feeling of deep peace settled. They hung the solstice lantern in the main window of the living room, where its gentle light was a warm, welcoming beacon. Then they all trudged back up the stairs, back to their warm, wonderful beds. The little troll snuggled back under his quilt. The chill was gone, replaced by a new kind of warmth in his heart. The deep, dreamless sleep of hibernation was calling to him again, but he knew it would be different now. As he closed his eyes, sinking back into that vast ocean of peace, he carried a new memory with him. The memory of a single brave flame, a gathering of silent friends, and the quiet, certain promise of the returning light. And this time, he dreamed. And now, you too can sink back into your own deep, peaceful rest. Carry that feeling of the warm, gentle light with you, a small, steady flame of peace and contentment glowing softly within you. Allow it to melt away any lingering thoughts, letting you drift deeper and deeper, down, down, into a comfortable and profoundly peaceful sleep. Rest now. Your own light is safe. Just rest. Thank you so much for sharing in this winter's secret. I hope this story has filled your heart with peace and prepared you for a night of deep, restorative rest. The valley will be here for you whenever you need to visit. If you enjoyed your stay, I would be so happy if you would subscribe and become part of our growing family of gentle listeners. But for now, it is time to let go completely. May your night be calm, may your rest be full, and may all your dreams be peaceful and bright. Sleep well,